All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got your watch list coming into May 28, 2019, and we have a lot to talk about. If you could see by the title, a bank in China failed. Now, I'm not going to get into too much of the details, but why this is important is because of the reaction it's going to cause. So I'll give it to you because it's very confusing. I'm pretty much expecting China stocks to go up and rip off of a bank failing and China taking control over one of these banks that collapsed. So we're going to talk about that. I'm going to go over what's going on even globally. There's a few events that's happened over the holiday weekend, and even then, before then, shout out all my veterans. You guys are amazing. Shout out, we got a lot of people, TTF, Colt, you guys are veterans. You guys, I love you. I'm speechless even in general, so thank you. I love you all, and I hope you guys had a wonderful holiday. But we are wrapping up from the holiday weekend, and the markets, we can't forget where we were coming from in the SPY, the S&P, the markets in general. We're at an interesting place. So seeing what's happened so far, China was still trading. They actually even went up already, even off of this news. But we're seeing where the S&P is. Coming into tomorrow, it's kind of quiet. We haven't heard any developments. There were a few pieces of news even coming out of China, something about a cybersecurity ban. There's that. But my big keys, I already have. This is going to be one of the plays for tomorrow. And what we're going to be watching even in the next few weeks, I think it's going to be a great play, even related. I have a bunch of other plays to go over we're going to talk about. But TLT, watch bond rates. Again, we could get an update from here. It's already trading. Remember, the bond market closed early, but the rates are going to be all over the place. They're already a little bit wacky, but watching this tomorrow is going to be important. That's going to affect TLT. And again, the markets are just at a very, very crucial place. So we're going to go over all this. Drop your like on the video, but more importantly, people, you have to do the main thing. You need to post your watch list below. So we're going to go over this tomorrow. We are trading live 30 minutes before open. YouTube.com/the stock market, and it is pinned in the comments. So let's talk about the plays. Well, maybe we should actually get into some of the global stuff. We've already talked a little bit about China. The next big thing is going to be the pound. There's Brexit stuff we saw over the last weekend, even though that still, I think, has till October. We're already getting some movement, but now even watch the pound and the euro. They've already made some moves, and they're already at crucial levels, but there was news with Italy and something about them getting fined by the EU. So that has already had an interesting effect, but watching anything in general, if it gets worse with the trade war and we start to see one thing get worse mixed in with other currencies, you just don't want one thing to set off another and exasperate it, get worse. But watch that. We're going to watch the Chinese currency, the yuan. It's been holding up here. It's weakened a lot. People, Bitcoin has even been ripping too. There is a correlation. We've talked about that before, but watch that. Again, this is even relation to anything with the trade. And this weekend, like I'm saying, don't forget, just because we had the holiday, we're going to be coming into a week. We should be expecting some stuff there. Again, the markets are at these crucial points, so I'm excited to see what happens, what we get out of Donald Trump, or any political stuff, but even so too, China, and any updates, even retaliation, anything like that. And that even leads into some of the next set of plays that I'm going to be looking at. GM, there was news on automakers and stuff happened in Europe, but watch that. That's related to both China and the EU. So again, bringing this all full circle, you could see this GM is going to be a good play. Even I like Ford as well too, but I take GM any day just because of the price, and it moves a little better. But watch them. We could even watch Tesla. Again, we can't forget where it's at, dude. Tesla's been dying, and a lot of things are at these crucial levels. We'll watch the healthcare, but I like GM, and then even Apple and Caterpillar too. These are going to be some of the main ones, both related to China. Clearly here, Caterpillar's at more of a crucial level, but Apple is going to be very important too. We're still in that play, and we did it. If you guys want to check it out, I don't know where it's at. The Tasty Works. Oh, here. We went over this today. We went over a lot of the trade statements. And remember, I bought some SPY puts and IWMs. We'll talk about that tomorrow. But I went over some of the trades we made on that account, so you guys could check that out. We were live today still, so that's, again, youtube.com/the stock market. But we're still in this Apple trade. I'm going to be watching them in general, even the semiconductors, but I'm still waiting to see if China retaliates in any sort of way and if there is any moves. But they're going to be a good one. And even on the total left side of the spectrum, I really want to watch this tomorrow, Roku. It was an animal over the weekend. I don't think we should forget about it, but I want to see how the contracts are priced, and that's going to be a good one. We'll look at the chain here in a little bit, but depending on how Roku trades, it is going to be good. And now here's something that's going to be interesting. Let me tell you guys right off the bat. It's going to be good and bad. It will be bad more so in the morning, but it is a shorter weekend or a shorter week. So you guys, the contracts have 1 day less because it's already going to be Tuesday while we're trading. So both take advantage of that, but at the same time, don't fall victim to that. But watch that. Now, as far as more of the plays that I even wanted to focus on, and these are what I will be looking for tomorrow, and we might even be selling a lot more premium. A lot of people like that live stream we had today, so we'll discuss that. But in general, even looking where things are at, it's important to watch what's going on with these countries. Again, it's important to watch what's going on with rates. It's going to have an effect on tech and all this other stuff. But now, even straight to the source, we can't even forget about oil. There's the bond rates, there's China, but then there's oil. And oil has been making moves. There's been activity. This is USO. You guys could play other, functions of oil. There's going to be drip, drop, whatever, rap lyrics you want to attach to it. But I like USO. You guys could look at it, but watch a lot of these indexes. I'm going to at least keep my eye out for them, even if I don't play them. There's everything from, TLT and USO, but you could even check here. Here's A shares. That's China. It's the China A shares. The China A shares. I also like Yang as well too, which is an inverse of the China shares. This is like the UVXY for China shares. So again, it's kind of like playing an index. You do have to watch out for the spreads on these, but I will look if they do depreciate. And that's the thing. If a lot of contracts are going to be high on the put side. So again, this week doesn't have to mean we watch. If it does go down, we do have setups. And I don't want to forget, two of the main plays, it's even related. We talked about Apple, but there's Boeing. They have their independent news with the SEC probe. And I think that's going to have an effect. And I want to see, again, even if stocks come down in general, but also Qualcomm too. I like that. I think Qualcomm is going to be a good one, again, related to Apple and the semiconductors, and even the case. They had the case with Samsung, so I think that'll be a great one. But as far as even setups go, I'm saying whatever happens this week, especially by focusing on the indexes besides the individual plays, if it does stall, if it does bounce out, if it is a short week, we don't see, if we don't see any developments and the market does want to extend this, and if China goes up, like I'm saying, despite it's a weird reaction, but if the Chinese stocks they have that bank fallout, you will see it go up. It's common. Even after 2008, stocks went up after Lehman and all that for a little bit of time. So you'd be surprised because the market steps in, the government steps in, but you have to see the process or the digestion of that. So we'll watch out. We'll see, though. Again, anything could happen. Anything could change. But what I'm even saying is set up for the plays, these indexes, if they're all at these levels, they could get at heightened prices. And if there is a counter move, they will become very, very cheap. That's why I played IWM and SPY puts. Those plays that I made are not too bad, and I will make another video on them going over them. Let's see how it plays out here. But for the most part, the thing about those plays is it's in line with this logic. These index options, they could go up a lot during volatility, but when there's an IV crush, they could become very cheap, even though now they are at crucial levels. So this is kind of like buying insurance while the house is on fire. So that's kind of what I'm saying and waiting for. So even if we don't make certain plays or the market moves big this week, the setup could be the stall that really adjusts option prices and leaves us with some really, really awesome opportunities. So I'm really excited for that. But continuing along, I don't want to forget some of the other plays. These are going to be good to look at related. I like watching EEM. This is the Emerging Markets ETF. That's a good one to watch, as well as EWM Malaysia. Again, you could look at the link. We'll talk about that when we get into economics. Someone asked me about that on live stream. We could get into that, but I like to watch them. Again, we're going to be watching Yang. You could even look at IYT. That's like, I think IYT is transportation. I think we actually do need to look at that, but I was going to say I think it's like IYR, Russia and all that, but we're going to be looking for any big divergences. There's not anything too crazy. It's starting to start there. We're going to keep our eye out for this, but if things do happen, it is going to be interesting to see, and I think this whole week and tomorrow it's going to be very interesting. But watch out for that. Put FDX. Watch out for FedEx as well too. FedEx and UPS. Now, I think this is a perfect one to come into with related to as far as the options plays that we want to watch. I think FedEx and UPS, they're great options. They can move a lot. But again, if transports start to drop, the market takes a dip. This was big volume. When you usually see moves on FedEx, it could happen big. So it's a gap up. Watch for that, because these could be the plays. Depending on how it is in the morning, we can make moves. But again, let's try to get time. The thing you guys want to watch out for, like I said, if there is volatility, the stock is moving down fast. Remember, the shorter term contracts are going to go up in value a lot faster and move and come down a lot faster. So to avoid the volatility and get killed without, to avoid overpaying easily, get some more time on it. But again, you got to really choose your risk and reward there. But I'm going to like FedEx. These are going to be great to play. But again, right away, I have to bring it up. We're going to bring it up every week. But the key here is, when do we strike? And now this is McDonald's. So I don't know why it looks like that. It looked pretty crazy there at the 197. Where is it? So there's the 1 year chart. But let's get what it looks. It's starting to drop. But this is what we want to watch out for. We want to see, does it mimic the SPY? But this is a value stock, and we've talked about how do we play it and why do we play it. But pretty much if the stock market starts going down, we want to see if McDonald's goes up and vice versa, because people, if they start taking their money out of Amazon, all that, they want to put their money somewhere. Even if the dollar and currency is not safe, they'll put it in the value stocks, which are safe and will pay a dividend. And McDonald's is one of those. But again, sometimes if there is a bigger sell-off, you might see everything come down with it. So that is kind of what the bears are looking for, and we'll keep our eye out for that. But for the most part, I think McDonald's is going to be great as long as it stays in a proper range. Be careful with the options you guys play on it. McDonald's premiums are high, and that's why we're highlighting this. These could be very, very expensive. Give it some time. They're finally starting to come down. You guys are see after 100 days, they've hit a low before. A lot of time has gone by. Now they're weeklies. They should start to really drop below this. So, be careful buying them. Even if you look at some of the calls with time, they're just now finally starting to capitulate. But the ones, at the money, they're not quite there yet. So the contracts are still expensive. And it's for these exact reasons that we're talking about, why people like McDonald's. So keep your guys' eyes out for that. Oh, wait, we're not even on there. We got to go to the options. So I'm going to like McDonald's. And lastly, I think Qualcomm will be a good one. I think Qualcomm both short-term and long-term, but more so Boeing. So I don't know if I'm going to make a video on this. If you guys should see it, I think I might. It's very important, but I don't know if it'll exist tomorrow. But we saw a pricing error. So I got this week and next week on Boeing, or the Junes, or I even think July's. I got a few different sets of contracts. I'll have to double check. But there was a lot of, that level 2 was pricing in different options. But honestly, the puts are pretty much at this bottom here at every single level, in the money, out of the money, even the ones that just started to move up. These are literally at the monies, and they're down. So the stock has been suppressed. It's not expected to move a lot, so we really have to have the stock move, but it's kind of holding these levels. If it does pop, it's going to be interesting to play. But here's the key with Boeing: have strategy with it. Flip it and roll over very, very quickly. You can make a lot of money on it, but Boeing, you see what happens, and once that volatility stops and it chills out, you're kind of going to be screwed. And again, it could defy the logic of all logics of what you think should happen with the stock. So that's pretty much it, though, you guys. It's pretty straightforward tomorrow. I forgot. I even watched the banks, Wells Fargo, all that, but a lot is going to come up. We are going to see how we have to react to tomorrow. I'm really excited. I'm glad for everybody who was there on the live stream today to see the premium. We'll see what plays we could get. Let's talk about that as well. That's pretty much it. You guys got to drop your like. You got to post your watch list. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the morning. Let's go!